That doesn't mean we're I have to start here, but we're rolling.
But you will.
Around here, probably,
Rolling.
It'll be somewhere in here.
All right.
Okay, let's just say it started, right, guys? Am I right?
Am I right?
Welcome to
I don't
Real
know.
Neighbours.
Is it started? I don't.
Yes.
I'm asking people listening.
It is ready.
Are you guys hearing this right now? Yeah. Welcome.
So, Jamie, why don't you give your mic a quick shake?
Give it a quick shake.
Yeah.
Ooh, you got the shitty one.
No, I don't. I fixed it.
Oh, we both have good ones.
It's doing a little bit, but it's not that bad.
Well, I was really shaking it.
Oh, when you were in the house, I just popped it open quick, and
Nice.
I noticed it was wrong, and I just kind of
He performed some open mic surgery while I was inside.
Correct.
So.
Yeah, it's just more about being the willpower to do it at this point.
Yeah, you're full.
I have the skills.
You're full of willpower. Is it? Yeah, it's episode 26 of the real.
Willpower
Neighbours.
is debatable on the day to day, but
yeah. Like, what do you mean?
I just mean I don't want to be here.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm pretty out of it today, but
don't worry though.
It'll be fun.
It's gonna be fun.
Let's pump it up. Pump up the jams.
And I'm only half joking.
Yeah.
So rest assured, audience, you can feel good about that part.
Well, you're joking, but I'm not. But
no, I mean I was half joking about not wanting to be here at all.
Right, and I'm saying.
Oh, you're just saying you don't want to be here
don't.
whatsoever.
No.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Wow, that's awesome, guys.
Actually, I'm gonna leave. See ya.
Well, you shouldn't have come this far, should you? Have you? Well, are you gonna dedicate? Are you gonna go out the door or what?
See ya. I'm leaving. You suck. All right.
You got that all in your system?
I guess I'll come back. No, yeah. No, I'm it's fun. I'm excited to be here. I'm a little sleepy. My sleep's been a little whack, but hey.
But you know what?
We're rolling with the punches.
At the very least, I can appreciate the fact that we're like normal people, because guess what? Sometimes they don't want to go to work or go places.
I know.
Or do anything, really.
Yeah, and here we are. Hey, so, yeah.
And this is a perseverance reminder that sometimes when you don't want to do it, you just got to do it.
Yeah. So on that note, your guys are in for a real treat today.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Side note, all I can smell is dog shit because I literally just stepped in dog shit before I came in here, and
it actually is I was already kind of slightly demoralized in the dog shit thing. Really.
Do you smell it?
Yes, I do, Jamie.
Wait,
I'm just trying to ignore it.
Austin, can you grab that candle right there?
Yeah, I guess actually that's a good idea.
Yeah.
You have a lighter on you?
Oh, I do. I actually I tried to wipe it off. I did the old curb trick.
You're gonna say, I'll put down the mic. You keep talking, and I'll get this candle out.
Sure. But yeah, I did the old wipey on the curb. Didn't work too well. I still smell it. So we're gonna have to candle this bad boy up.
Wow, just opening the candle's already kind of restoring me a little bit.
Yeah. Is it dangerous to have a lighter like this almost upside down where it could ignite?
Oh, and it burn your finger?
Well, no, so it could ignite the fuel inside and blow it up.
No. There's not enough. I think because of how big the opening is in the lighter, there's not enough oxygen or airway for it to combust the whole lighter.
Yeah, that'd be kind of badass. So, well, I'd probably lose my hand.
That'd be kind of cool.
I'd lose my hand, but everybody would be like,
I don't think you'd lose your hand.
Actually,
gasoline's. You know what? Actually, I got an interesting thing. My old roommate in Toronto. Actually, he's a nice guy.
Yeah.
He is a what do you call it? A fire spinner.
Yeah.
So when I was in town a few weeks ago,
is that a fancy name for arsonist?
Yeah, pretty much. Well, he's got fire. He's got torches that he throws around.
Yeah,
so
that's pretty cool.
When I was there for a few weeks, a little bit ago,
mm-hmm.
we went in the backyard one day, and Andrew and I were in the back, watching everything going down, smoking a doobie sort of situation.
Yeah.
And he just did a show for us. And so he was flipping, he was doing the torch flips and stuff like that. And he ran it along his arm, and he lights his arm on fire for a second, then puts it out.
Oh, wow.
He did the fire breathing thing where he swallows fire and shoots it out, and then he lights his other torch with his breath.
Yeah.
Did
he light your joint with his breath?
No.
That would have been cool.
Oh, that would have been cool.
Yeah.
Breathing on my joint.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, some opportunities are not meant to be.
I don't know if the World Health Organization would appreciate him doing that. This is probably a while ago, right?
Yeah, that's fair too. That's fair. Yeah, breathing in my face.
Yeah,
it was like a month ago, maybe.
Oh, okay.
Or maybe even more recent. I don't know.
Yeah.
It was recent history.
Recent history.
I'd have to check my Google Chrome.
Yeah.
Hopefully it stores that.
Why would that be on Google Chrome?
It's a joke, JB.
Oh.
I'm saying Google's always watching.
Oh, yeah,
okay.
Yeah. You gotta check your audio files that Google keeps on you.
Yeah, yeah.
when your phone's always
Well,
listening.
you know what? I was talking to a guy recently that does digital advertising, and he did blow my mind a little bit about analytics and what they can actually find out about you,
Oh yeah,
and how well they can filter people to advertise to the right person.
yeah. I've kind of firsthand realized quite the power. I know the power they have based on what I've seen.
I know the power that
Yeah.
Google has.
Yeah, I've had conversations that had nothing to do with the internet, and somehow I'm getting an ad for it. Pretty out there stuff too.
But there's always the other side of it, which is confirmation bias, which I do worry about because
I don't know,
I,
man. Have you ever heard of mugwort?
no.
I was talking about it one time with my mom, and then the same day I had an ad for mugwort tea, and I was talking about it like in person with her.
We're talking about it right now. So if we both go back home,
It'll be there.
maybe we'll have some. Okay, mugwort. Hey Google, remember mugwort tea?
Yeah.
Advertise me some mugwort tea later. Okay, we got that. We got that put down.
You're speaking to them, Austin?
Another great example. I might have said in the podcast before. I can't remember.
Yeah.
But my friend was telling me about a scene in Better Call Saul, the show, which is a great show. I was just too lazy to get through it.
Oh, yeah?
I'm bad at that. So he was just telling me about a scene that happens later in the show, and while we were like at the gym or something, and I went home, and right at the top of my YouTube was that exact scene in Better Call Saul.
Okay.
Now you start to wonder though, is that confirmation bias? Like you're looking for it, so it doesn't. It's
No,
a mere coincidence can become something more than what it is.
that's a little too specific.
But
That's not a coincidence.
I really did think, like, even a few hours after that conversation, to get that exact scene from that show at the top of my feed, that's pretty sus.
Now,
Wouldn't you agree? Like,
it
I
is.
think it's pretty fucked up.
Yeah. Now, I guess if you're gonna be really skeptical of this concept, you could be like, maybe you were already advertised that, and that's why subconsciously that scene was in your head, and you saw it earlier but didn't click it and forgot you saw it.
Yeah, or it's a popular show.
Yeah. But I'm just saying, I swear, like the time with the mugwort, I did not see anything online about mugwort. I didn't look it up. So pretty weird.
And I don't actively look at Better Call Saul scenes either. So
Yeah.
I mean, it's probably just confirming what everybody already knows anyway.
Yeah.
That we don't really have rights to information. It's being sold by other companies to companies.
Yeah. Big Brother is watching.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Now, what's scary is when they can actually wield that information correctly.
Yeah. And
Which,
target you correctly.
Which is probably not gonna happen for like another 5-10 years. But
Yeah. I don't know. I get pretty specific ads on social media, and I'm like, you know what? I like that.
Oh yeah, there actually are cases where I do like getting targeted ads, because at the end of the day, if I am going to get ads, I might as well just get things that I might actually like,
But
compared to just dog shit garbage I've never cared about.
yeah, although I would prefer it if it was purely based on stuff I look up as opposed to my personal conversations in day-to-day life.
Tomato.
Yeah.
You don't have personal conversations on Facebook anymore?
No. No. But yeah. Yeah, it's kind of getting weird. The one thing I know Google can't get into, though, is your dreams. As far as I know, maybe they can. Maybe they're working on it.
Now they're starting to think that's a new challenge.
Yeah, they're
They
working
maybe
on
even hearing this, they think that's a new objective for them.
Yeah.
He has a point.
Yeah. Well,
We can't get into their dreams. What do they dream about? What do they really want?
Well, Austin, I had a really weird dream, and I know what you're thinking. Like, shut up. Like, no one wants to hear about your dream.
I wasn't thinking that.
And
the
all right.
audience is thinking that.
And you know what? All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I'm interested, but the audience definitely does not care.
No. Okay, no, but I did have a very weird dream I felt like sharing, even though,
Oh, dude, no, go for it.
it's kind of, dreams are pretty boring to hear about, but this one was very particularly weird. I had a dream I was at a very, like, big party, which I think subconsciously that's my brain telling me COVID-19 is a hoax. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. No.
Awesome. Very good.
No, I think, again, I probably just miss big events, so that's probably why I was dreaming about it. But I've noticed I've had a lot of dreams where I'm just at big events, so it's probably just me missing them. But so I had a dream. I was at a party, and I saw Rick Moranis and what's his name? From Seinfeld, Kramer. And for some reason in the
Who's Rick Moranis again?
Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
Oh right,
That guy.
yeah, that nerd baller.
Which I
Yeah,
didn't,
yeah.
which I guess in a previous episode we didn't know his name and we looked it up. So it's weird that
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah,
it's
yeah, we did that whole thing.
yeah, but in this dream I knew his name, which is weird because now it's just sticking with me. But I don't know why because I haven't seen anything with him or Kramer in a long time. So I don't get why I had that dream. But in the dream I like was meeting them and like I was like, "Hey, can I get a picture with you?" And for some reason,
Did he look like '90s Rick Moranis, or did he look like a grandpa?
they both looked young. They both looked like them.
Straight out of the movie, then.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or
Okay.
Kramer, like right from Seinfeld. Like,
Nice.
yeah, very
Okay.
weird. And yeah, the whole time Kramer was just shouting racial slurs. No, I'm just kidding.
So are you saying that if they could tap into your dreams, like what would be the advertisement equivalent? Would they be selling you cardboard cutouts
They would be sending
of,
me ads.
of Rick Moranis?
Yeah, they're like, this guy wants to meet Rick Moranis, so
He wants to spend time with him.
we're gonna or they're like, this guy wants to party, so then I'd have ads for like IMVU. Is that still a thing?
It's good question.
I don't know.
That almost is worth looking up because IMVU was pretty hot for a while.
Yeah.
And you know what's funny? I actually read a business book
Yeah.
about but written by the guy who created IMVU.
Right.
Because believe it or not, he actually created a pretty modern programming approach to doing business. It's called as a broad concept, it's called Agile, which is basically just basically getting feedback from customers as quickly as possible, and all the stuff you have to do to make that happen correctly.
Yeah.
Which it's actually a great book. So actually, it's weird that you bring that up. But yeah, I read a book by the guy who made IMVU
Like you just recently did?
a couple years ago.
Oh, okay.
It's a great book.
If it was recent, I would have been like, man, do I work for Google?
Oh no.
How did I know this? Yeah. Well, so actually, weird thing about Rick Moranis. Apparently, last year in like October, he was like jumped, like beat up, walking down the street.
Who would beat up Rick Moranis?
I know.
That's not cool.
And so I read like a little article about it. I was like, wow, that was like October last year. He was just walking down the street and someone beat him up. And you know what I wondered? Like the article didn't really specify if it was like targeted or if it was just some guy randomly. Because like I wonder if it was just like some random mugging where the guy didn't know him, or is it some guy who's like, I hate Spaceballs. Like I hate that movie. And
angry at his films.
yeah, and then he beat him up because he like, like I don't know. Do you think, just speculating? What do you think? Do you think it was targeted?
I'd like to think you know those TV shows, any sort of episodic, they always have the classic "You ruined my life" episode. You know, where like this random character appears and is angry at one of the main characters for ruining their life somehow.
Yeah,
You know, it's a pretty classic trope. You know, like one day you were driving down the street in a Porsche and you hit my dog or something. You know, like and you ruined my life.
Yeah.
It could be one of those.
right.
It just happened in real life.
He was like, my wife left me because she's a big Rick Moranis fan.
All I ever heard about was Rick Moranis. Everywhere I went.
She was like, you've never shrunk our kids. Well, you're not as cool
You're
as
not
him.
very smart, are you?
Yeah.
Rick Moranis is smart, and he looks smart.
Yeah. I like smart guys, unlike you, dumbass. Yeah, I don't know. It's hard to say if it was targeted.
And
or
then,
not.
and it only happened because she saw Rick Moranis at one of those red carpet events or something.
Yeah, or she
And
saw
she was
him.
like, "Oh my God!"
She probably saw him in her dream. She was dreaming about.
Dream about Rick Moranis.
Yeah, it's a common.
It comes and goes.
Yeah,
So yeah, so you know what? Maybe that's how he felt. He needed some sort of vengeance against him.
yeah. You've ever heard of that? Have you seen this man psychology thing?
No.
So, okay, so there was a thing online for a while and it was called have you seen this man? And basically it was this guy with really bushy eyebrows, like kind of a unibrow, very kind of rough looking, kind of primal man looking thing and looking thing. Well, it was a human, but but basically just just kind of a anyway, but it was a thing going around saying everyone who sees this picture claims they have seen this guy in their dreams. And I saw it, and I'm just like, to be fair, that kind of looks like a very generic person. Like I have certainly seen people in my life with some of those features. So it's kind of like, is it true people are actually just saying, there's some crazy conspiracy that everyone's being visited by this man in their dreams.
Or is this guy just an NPC?
Or is it just your brain just makes someone who looks like that because it's pretty common like features, you know?
I will note that definitely getting the candle is a good idea.
Yeah, it doesn't smell like dog shit
Yeah,
as
it doesn't
much.
smell like dog shit in here anymore. Now it smells like a pleasant, some sort of candle scent.
Yeah, now the only dog shit in here is our podcast.
Wow.
Um, no, yeah, it does smell nice, but
it hurts because it's true, Jamie.
nah. Well, but yeah. Anyway, I thought that was. I'm surprised you haven't heard of that because that was a big thing.
You know, what was it, like Facebook? Like what year was this?
When I was in high school, it was popular. It was literally just if you look up, "Have you seen this man?" like dream. It was just it was all over social media. It was just a big thing.
You know what? In high school, I was too busy doing my own thing.
Yeah,
I was just way too focused on me to like really,
to know,
to process all this other stuff.
process
going on,
about anything going on.
Yeah,
around you.
yeah.
Yeah.
You know, it's like a high school kid. You know, I have all these feelings and emotions, and I had to, it took a lot of time to figure that out.
Yeah, you couldn't be
I
worried
couldn't be
about
focusing on Facebook posts
your
and
dream,
memes.
your dream people.
That's weird. Yeah, I think back then, I think a lot of those. I don't think things got quite as viral back then.
No,
I don't know if you agree.
Definitely not, because
Not the way that things can now.
well, I guess it's kind of like it makes sense because if you think, I remember when a million views on YouTube was a big deal, or a billion, and the first time a video hit a billion, everyone was like, "This is crazy." But
Yeah.
but now, like, there's probably multiple that are
That
like
was
seven.
Gangnam Style, right? That was the first 1 billion views.
It was either that or the Justin Bieber Baby. It was one of them.
It was one of the two.
I
Yeah.
think it was Gangnam Style. Yeah.
And I would actually argue back then, during the 1 million subscriber count, a viral video was like 5 million views.
Yeah.
If you got a video with 5 million views, that was pretty viral.
Yeah, so I would say like things are a lot more international too on the internet, so it kind of reaches a larger audience. So now I would say things that are viral are really viral.
And now it's like Mr. Beast, for example, is getting all of his videos get like over 30 million views
Yeah.
by default, and that's like his less viewed ones. His big viewed ones get like 50 to 60.
Yeah.
Is that viral every single time? Like, is every video he makes viral now?
I guess I don't even know what the definition of viral is. I think
It's I view it as a breakout, and I just
Yeah.
think like something like this is so big now that it's not viral anymore.
No.
It's just a big thing that's happening.
to me viral, again, there's probably a real definition, but I'm too lazy to look it up, but I always kind of thought of it as something that blew up unexpectedly, like something that got big. But I would say if you have a regular following of a certain amount, that at that point that's just your audience. I wouldn't say it's viral every time.
Yep, and every single time he makes a video, Mr. Beast,
Yeah.
he basically is just like summarizing like five to 10 mainstream videos from 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Over and over again every week.
Yeah. Actually, there's another guy on YouTube that I find it very crazy the amount of views he gets because it's Penguin Zero, or he's a streamer too.
Oh yeah, don't they call him like YouTube Jesus or
Yeah,
something?
yeah, he kind of looks, most people, when people have long hair and a beard, people are always like, it's Jesus. But yeah, he's got that look. But it's funny.
Are they wrong, Jamie?
They're not wrong. But
It's Jesus.
it's funny because his videos, he streams and stuff too. I think he goes by like Moist Critical on streaming services, but on YouTube his videos are literally just him kind of ranting in front of a webcam. Like he just turns on a webcam and talks for like a little bit and sometimes shows little clips, and his videos reach like every video reaches over 1 million views, and it's literally just he just sits there and talks for like upwards of 5 to 10 minutes, and literally just he has like I think 8 million subscribers or something. It's just crazy because it's just that's his following. But it's like very simple content if you really think about it.
Yeah, well, I view it as he just got the lightning in the bottle.
Yeah.
Obviously, you have to be a certain type of personality.
Oh, yeah.
And
well,
so,
obviously.
obviously he fills all the check boxes.
Yeah.
But I would be pretty confident that there are thousands of people that would also be able to tick those check boxes.
Yeah.
It's just you need the lightning. You need one thing to break out or some sort of good fortune or
Yeah.
You got to have something.
Well, exactly. Obviously, he probably had viral videos in the past that kind of granted him an audience. But I do find it interesting how his videos, they are pretty just simple, but people just are curious about what he's saying for some reason.
Well, I think YouTube Red proved more than anything that people that are on YouTube don't care about high quality content anyway.
Yeah.
Nobody does. I don't know anybody who gets the YouTube Red stuff, and I think for the most part, YouTube has abandoned doing it. They do
Have they?
occasional premium content, but not like they did.
Well, they're still pushing premium quite a bit.
Yeah, but like, what's a good example? I just remember a lot of my people that I was a fan of
Yeah.
were doing all this YouTube Red shit maybe 3-4 years ago, and pretty much all of them got scrapped.
Yeah.
I think one of the few ones that didn't is the Vsauce guy.
Right.
I think he still has something going on with YouTube.
Yeah, I think
right?
he's still
he
going
still has
strong.
his show.
Yeah.
Um,
Some formats work better than others, though, with that, I would say.
Because why would you want to? Would you rather have this person that you are a fan of for being a personality be in their element, comfortable at home, doing whatever the fuck they want,
Yeah.
or do you want to see them on like some weird, not really Hollywood, but not really YouTube budget set,
Yeah.
where they don't really have money like Hollywood, but they also don't. Like it's to me it's some really weird middle ground that's an utero and it shouldn't exist.
Yeah. Well, I think again with Vsauce, I guess his kind of content's it was always pretty polished and stuff. So I can see how that works well for that
I
sort
would
of
say
thing.
it's an evolution of his work.
Yeah.
It really is.
Because with that, he definitely got a bigger budget too. So it's kind of become more of like an actual Discovery Channel type show, you know?
Yeah, and people actually crave it. I think he's one of the occasions where it actually worked really well.
Yeah, so it really depends what it is. But another thing that's popular though is like Patreon. Like I know there's people who they'll say they have exclusive stuff on that, but it's still like of the same quality. It's just more stuff, and the people who are really dedicated will watch it.
Yeah.
So I think I don't think the YouTube Premium thing is going to be that popular. Like I guess with like the really big names, obviously, but I would just say like kind of small time people who have a bit of an audience, they typically go towards like Patreon.
Well, here's a great example: Penguin Zero. If he had a YouTube Red thing, what would it even be? What the fuck would he even do?
Yeah, exactly.
Like rant in front of a fancy camera instead?
Yeah, like I can't picture. Yeah, exactly. I can't picture that format being any more like polished. I can't really see where it could even go.
And people like it the way it is.
Yeah.
People like
exactly.
like people like PewDiePie. They like it when he has like a janky camera and he doesn't even bother setting up his position correctly. He just does shit. You know.
Yeah.
People like it because he's comfortable.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Something very. I don't know if it's not that interesting, but I think it's kind of interesting. I remember when we first discovered Slender, when that game was really big.
Oh, Slenderman! I remember that whole thing.
I remember we were playing that a lot, and I remember we came across PewDiePie playing it, and he was like under 1 million subscribers, right? Or he was like maybe
just around that ballpark.
He was just around 1 million when we first saw him.
He was nowhere near the biggest at the time. So that was 10 years ago, I think.
Yeah. So
we were 16 when that Slenderman game came out. And we obviously played it a bunch too, but it was really cool. Actually, I remember us both enjoying playing it and then watching it.
Yeah.
And I think for you on a few weekends when you came over, we just spent the whole weekend
trying to
like watching PewDiePie videos of Slenderman and then playing Slenderman.
Yeah, and it's weird looking back because I think at the time we probably never would have thought this would be like the biggest channel on this platform when we were watching it. We're just like, oh, it's just some random guy. He's pretty funny playing this game.
Yeah.
And at the time, it's just like, I don't think I would have ever expected that to be like the biggest name on the platform. So
Yeah, no, I never expected it either. You are right.
Yeah. So we were into underground PewDiePie.
Wow, we were so hip.
Yeah.
My God.
Yeah.
Jamie, thankfully we basically you just brought it up to do a hard flex like, oh, we're the OGs.
Yeah.
We've been all over the place.
Hipsters.
You know what? I actually do want to talk about something.
Mm-hmm.
And we can be gentle about the topic.
Okay.
Because it was somebody we used to watch, and actually, I've talked to my sisters about this a lot too, because they were fans as well.
Yeah.
And it's Shane Dawson.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Because if you didn't know, he's gone.
Yeah.
He's completely vanished. And did he vanish a year ago? It's been a while now, right? It's
some-
been a while.
I want to say sometime last year, right?
It might have been July, maybe.
Yeah.
He's been gone like a notable amount of time,
Yeah.
and it's actually maybe coin flip if he even comes back or not. Like, who knows?
Well, yeah. I think when someone is like kind of being attacked about stuff they've done, then it kind of a lot of them, at least for the very least, will take a long break.
And it's really hard to stomach that because I can kind of feel where he's coming from because I know I obviously understand. I don't fully know everything that happened in
Yeah.
terms of the present.
Yeah.
But I thought a couple years ago that his past would eventually catch up to him in terms of where like the world in terms of morality and what they think is acceptable is always changing.
Right.
And that old content we used to watch when we were kids because we used to watch Shane Dawson when we were like 13, 14. Like that was like OG YouTube.
I was a big fan back. When
Yeah,
I was in
and
high
I was
school.
too. Yeah, we loved his skits.
Yeah.
And I remember I watched a couple of them a couple of years ago just for nostalgia, and I thought, I'm like, dude, one day they're gonna start digging through his old stuff, and they're gonna it's gonna catch up to him.
Well, he did like blackface all the time too. Like he was like his Wendy Williams impersonation and stuff. Which it's funny context wise. When I was younger, I didn't even know what blackface was. So to me, I was just like, oh, he's just being Wendy Williams. I didn't realize there's a lot more to it than that.
I'm gonna give him an olive branch. Okay,
Yeah.
is he really dressed up as everything?
Well, true.
Right? That's why maybe it was never like starkly noticeable which one in particular.
Exactly. And I guess it's more like the climate of everything now and the fact that I would say most people now know what blackface is, especially. I guess like it's like it's hard to say whether he really knew the history of it. I don't know. I'm not going to justify it if I don't really know what, I don't know what he was thinking, but
Yeah.
So it's hard to justify it for him, but I do definitely think a lot more people know what it is nowadays with kind of the climate of things.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
More people talk about it.
Once again, I'm trying to be cautious, but I do view it as he was just a guy in his early 20s. Didn't know a lot about the world, and he was just dressing up as stuff. You know, he dressed up as a girl, moms, dads.
Oh yeah,
blackface.
Yeah. Well, okay, but that aside, because I guess the joke wasn't that he was black. The joke was that he was Wendy Williams. I get that, but still, I guess I can still see people being upset over it given the history of it. But even that aside, though, he definitely did some weird stuff, like and not even just his skits.
Oh yeah, now I'm trying to remember as you're bringing it up. Yeah. He definitely has problems.
There was a thing where he was like justifying pedophilia, and it didn't seem like a joke.
Oh yeah, he did that podcast, didn't he?
Yeah,
I actually remember watching that clip.
I did listen to that. And I was like, yikes.
You know what? I would actually say it of everything. Yeah. Like the old videos, obviously,
that's definitely the worst.
Nostalgia, blindness.
Yeah,
and obviously I grew up watching a lot of those videos, so I'm obviously going to be more forgiving than a lot of people. But I would definitely say probably those things are the most scathing for me.
Well, yeah, I can see where people are coming from for sure. But I don't know. Again, because it's kind of like the nostalgia blindness. Because again, when I was younger, I was a big fan. But I guess it still doesn't justify anything. But I do. Yeah, those comments were a little weird. I remember listening to that and I was like, yikes. I'm like, where's he going with this? I was like,
what's the plan here? That's true. It was definitely
he was literally just sounding like he was
there's
justifying
no way out.
Pedophilia.
But once, I will say, because we in the past have also said pretty stupid things on here, and actually I will be open and say
on
that
here. What do you mean?
Well, like on our podcast.
I don't think
in terms
anything
of,
close to that.
Oh yeah, not anything close to that, but we've said dumb things.
Sure.
And actually I will say, because we might as well. I think we should talk about it a little bit. I remember 3 months ago.
Yeah,
well, it was a while ago now. We've actually been pretty good.
Yeah,
in terms of just consistency and quality and like being able to talk back and forth.
Oh, thanks.
But we had an episode that we cut out probably 5 minutes.
Right.
If you remember that.
I do.
Yeah, just because
felt it might be misinterpreted.
Exactly, and it was kind of a thing where
if your brain's just going, but
we were both not on the same page, and then we were not expressing thoughts well, and it was just like a very and so it's. No, once again, I'm not justifying Shane Dawson even remotely. Because that's wild.
I'm saying because the thing we cut was still nowhere near that.
Yeah, it was nothing. Okay, guys, just to clarify, I want to emphasize, Real Neighbours was not talking about pedophilia or anything even close to that.
It wasn't anything close, but it was still something we were like, that might be misinterpreted because we didn't really yeah, we didn't
It was
explain
just
it.
dumb. It was just kind of dumb,
Yeah.
you know. And it's what it wasn't really our intention or what I think we genuinely believe. But
No, yeah, just I feel like it came out weird, so we're like, we should just cut that. That was kind of awkward.
yeah, when you're live in the air, you just start to. You actually, yeah, as I said, one of my favorite quotes is when you said, and we've said it before, but you were like, "Man, we just talked about that one thing," and I don't think I believed anything I said.
Yeah, I'm like, who was that
I
talking?
don't believe anything.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. I'm like, I say things and I listen back and I'm like, I feel like I don't even think that way. I don't know why I even said that.
And the cool, well, you know what? The cool thing now though is because we've been starting to do this a lot. I'm starting to notice that I can, instead of viewing it as like an hour or a whole thing,
Yeah.
and I kind of just get lost in like these overarching topics and stuff like that. I'm actually like focusing on what I'm saying
Yeah.
from even sentence to sentence.
Which, yeah, very important.
Yeah, compared to trying to articulate like a whole broad thought for like 5 minutes.
Yeah.
You know?
Because I guess you figure even if there's like some thoughts that are left unsaid, you can always hold on to them anyway,
Yeah.
rather
Yeah.
than forcing it all into a short period. I noticed that too, actually. I think the last one we did, I noticed something that I did that was funny because it sounded like you were about to say something. And I was like, oh, were you about to say something? And you're like, yeah, I was. But the way you said, for some reason, I interpreted it like, yeah, I was, but go on kind of deal. But I realized the way it sounded like you were just like, you were like, yeah, I was. I'm like, oh, okay, well, anyway. And then I just kept going.
I don't remember that.
No.
That's funny.
But
That's funny.
I listened back and I was like, oh, no, I just sound like an asshole.
Oh, were you saying something? Yeah, I was saying
Yeah, I
something,
was. I'm
Jamie.
like, well, anyway, just
Awesome.
quickly.
That's great.
And then I talk for another like 2 minutes.
Well, actually, you know what? That's actually another fair point. Is
Yeah.
it's hard not only to talk about what you're talking about, but also to actually fully consider what the other person's saying,
Yeah.
and not just responding to you, but actually when you say something, I'm fully understanding what you're saying and then responding correctly.
Yeah. I think the hard part about it is I think when I get on a topic, usually I really like just saying everything I think about it in that moment. But when you're having a conversation with someone and they throw something else into the mix, like another thing and like another topic, then it's kind of like if I didn't get it all out, sometimes I'll want to go back, but then it will feel wrong to go back if we're already onto something else.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's definitely something I should try and fix because that annoyed me when I listened to it. I was like, oh, that probably sounds so like obnoxious of me.
Yeah. Now to conclude this thought, and actually, because I'm kind of thinking about it a little bit.
Yeah.
My concern is I don't think no matter what we do, I don't think we're ever going to meet the expectations of the future or stand the test of time in terms of criticism and morality and what we're doing. And I can actually give you a pretty good example.
Yeah.
I might have said it on the podcast before.
I think you have, but
Have I?
yeah, you might as well.
Yeah, so this is
I
definitely-
know your example.
Yeah,
of
this is my big thing that I think they're going to look back and go, this is so obvious. Why would you guys just, and it kind of actually gives me sympathy for people in the past for just like putting up with something that's just blatantly wrong.
Yeah.
And my example would be people that the fact that we still benefit from slavery.
Yeah.
We buy products
Yeah.
that are fueled by slavery.
Yeah.
And people in the future will, in a more developed society, will probably think that's absolutely abhorrent. They're
Yeah.
like,
And-
okay, you defeated slavery in your own country, but you were happily outletting it.
Exactly.
From other
And yeah,
places.
what he's saying is like in other countries, like basically the sweatshops and child labor in other countries, like with everyone's like phone, for example, we're all directly benefiting, or even like blood diamonds, like people are dying over oil, blood.
And do you know
Or,
why?
I mean, blood, sorry,
the
diamonds.
reality is it's because it's convenient.
Yeah, and people just turn a
That's
blind
just the
eye
way
to
it
it.
is, yeah.
'Cause it's out of sight, out of mind. So here in our culture in North America, we are benefiting from all this atrocities going on in the world, but most people in their day-to-day lives don't really talk about it or focus on it.
Yeah.
So
And that's only what I can see.
yeah,
These are things I'm just predicting. I'm like, and then I start going, what about all the things that I can't see? I just literally can't see it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And
Which-
they're going to look back and go, those guys were just dumb for this.
which the funny thing about that is if you were to ask someone, like pretty much anyone you know, and say, do you think it's wrong that we're benefiting from like sweatshop stuff? Almost everyone you know will be like, oh, for sure. But no,
Yeah, I think it'd be, pretty unanimous.
pretty much everyone would be like, yeah, that's horrible that we're all doing that. But at the end of the day, it's still happening, and it's still like, you know what I mean? It's not like some big uproar that everyone's demanding it change. It's just sort of everyone agrees it's wrong, but just kind of ignores it, you know?
Because once again, because we enjoy the benefits, we get the
Yeah,
fruit,
it's sort of like, yeah, it's
and
just
it's
out of
terrible
sight, out of
because
mind.
and as I said, for me, it gets a little bit heavy, but that's what I kind of compare it to things like in the past, like actual like slavery in our country
Yeah.
is a large part of the reason it was probably was ignored is
Yeah.
because it was convenient,
Oh,
which
yeah.
is terrible,
Well,
you know.
and yeah, and there definitely were people who were opposed to it back then as well. But again, I guess it was sort of maybe the ones who weren't really intense enough about stopping it soon enough. I guess complacency seems to be an issue in a lot of these situations.
Yeah, and I would agree in even that I can be complacent
Yeah. Oh,
about
of
things,
course. Of
to
course. I'm not out here trying to fight that at all. I don't.
yeah, exactly. I'm
But
laid back.
I guess it's like,
I'm agreeable. I don't like if I see something that like how do you put it? Like I don't. It is wrong. That's so it's like a thing
yeah,
where it's hard to even like to accept that that you can be complacent about
yeah.
something that's just wrong.
I guess it's sort of just the structure of our society, and it's really at the end of the day, I feel like a lot of people feel helpless to it too. It's just sort of a machine, you know. It's sort of just like that's people outsource in other countries. It's just kind of just the way everything is, and it's kind of hard to really tackle that issue. And there are people who are pretty vocal about it, I guess, but I guess not enough because it's still very prominent.
It's true. It really
So.
does have to be a societal swing, I
Yeah,
think, for it to really
because
happen
me as
anyway.
an individual, at the end of the day, what am I gonna do to like stop that personally? You know,
It would be really fucking hard.
Mhm.
Let's just put it that way.
At
It
the
would
end of
be very
at
difficult.
the end of the day, it has to be these like Fortune 500 companies who do it because they're the ones outsourcing and doing it. So it really does have to be these like CEOs and stuff making the conscious effort to shift it back to, you know,
Well, actually, I would say the biggest thing that needs to happen is it is becomes so socially negative
mhm.
that it benefits them more to operate at a loss doing something more morally correct
Yeah,
compared to continuing to do this thing that they are doing right now.
yeah,
So that would be they're like, okay, half our customers are currently
boycotting
actively
it or something.
boycotting us
Yeah,
and they hate us.
yeah,
If it gets to that point.
yeah,
And from their perspective, it then makes sense
yeah.
to start catering to what people want now.
Yeah, but I would say like yeah, the culture we live in, I can't really see that happening on a large enough scale that they would do that.
I don't think anytime soon.
Yeah,
I don't, and that's what I mean by in
down the
50
road,
years from now,
people would be like,
like
"Why have we been putting up with this?" Yeah,
yeah.
that could be where things are going, which that'd be great. But yeah,
Oh, I do think it's for the best, but I also want it means I want to give like a little bit of an understanding for like if you have like a grandparent or something like that you consider ignorant or
yeah,
at a different time, you just got to understand that they were
oh yeah. Well, at the end of the
in a
day, what
similar
do you?
boat to ours, right? That
Well,
like things were wrong with the world and
yeah, I would say that doesn't like. Again, I guess I understand why people would think that way coming from different times, but I still don't think I don't like justify in my head or think it's right. But at the end of the day, it's kind of I don't know. It's I'm trying to think of how to word that. Basically, it's like yeah, it's just to be expected. But at the end of the day, I wouldn't justify it for that reason, but I expect it, and I feel like again, if that shift happened, what we were just talking about, our like grandkids and stuff would probably be like, yeah, I can't believe they did this.
yeah, my grandpa did this or he was part of a world that did this kind of
Horrible,
thing,
yeah, horrible people. Yeah, yeah, I can totally see that happening.
and so on so forth, and it will always continue.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
yeah, maybe it's I don't know. It's so and that really does wrap into the whole thing I was saying that now that we have such a timestamp for things, meaning videos, recordings, audio, and
yeah,
that give a whole timeline of a person's life.
yeah.
Like I just can't see how you ever stand the test of time.
Right.
I just think it's impossible. There's going to always be at least one thing
Yeah,
that's going to catch you.
yeah, for a lot of people, yeah, for sure.
Now, not to fully justify like someone like Shane Dawson's actions, because that's what
No.
we were talking about at the beginning.
Yeah.
But it just kind of it does scare me that like
But I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
Because I guess even in comedy and humor, there's a lot of things even 10 years ago that would fly that wouldn't now. And I guess it's like the people who were a part of that at the time, it wasn't coming from as malicious of a place as it were if people now were doing it because it was just so normalized, I guess.
And the audience was there too.
Yeah, it was just like, oh, this is just the type of humor that people like, and it's just funny, ha ha ha. I feel like, yeah, certain types of jokes definitely wouldn't fly now that even 10 years ago, especially on even like YouTube.
Oh yeah. Oh
There's
yeah, of course.
tons of
yeah.
old stuff that's always being removed from YouTube that was really big at the time.
Oh, isn't it
which is-
crazy that
which is
now that
weird.
you can go through your liked videos,
Yeah,
and every time I go through it, I don't remember what videos they are anymore, but they're always slowly getting sifted out.
yeah. There's always some that are removed.
There's
or-
always a few videos that are removed every time I look.
yeah,
It's kind of sad because it makes you realize that YouTube isn't really an archive.
yeah.
It's a constant modern moving thing that
Yeah.
will happily like scrap anything from its past to keep moving forward.
yeah.
Which to me is a bummer because I really did hope it would be a time capsule from my childhood.
Oh, exactly. Yeah. Because yeah, even if something doesn't hold, but at the end of the day, sometimes I think it's even the people who made the video themselves sometimes might be the ones to remove it if they feel it might kind of bite them later.
I think that's the smart move,
so
and I
that-
do agree with you.
so
When it
that
says
happens
it's
too.
private, I think that's true.
Yeah, that happens sometimes too. Yeah, I don't know. It's hard to say, but yeah, I do know what you mean about kind of wishing it could be an archive because, it's still these things happened whether or not.
This was the humor of 2008,
Yeah,
You know?
so it's like, yeah, you might as well
and there it is, and you can take it or leave it.
Yeah, exactly. It's like if it's so bad, I guess don't make stuff like that moving forward. But yeah, it did exist. I don't know.
And I would say when I said like the whole audience is there too. I mean, why just axe the comedian? You should be axing the whole audience too because
Well,
they were all there enjoying it as well.
I guess
That video-
there's no face to the audience. Though.
Yeah, because that video got 5 million views and it was liked 99% sort of thing, right?
Yeah.
Like, so they were clearly catering
It
to
just-
what people wanted at the time, just
Yeah.
like they are now. It's just different now.
Yeah, just shows like a culture shift, I guess. Yeah, but yeah, obviously, if there's a face to it, they're not gonna be able to track everyone's IP address who liked the video.
Yeah.
That's next level, like Google shit.
Now the interesting thing though is I do always wonder if they've been archiving information and they're just not able to sift through it effectively yet.
Yeah,
And there might come a time in the future, 10, 15 years from now, where they can actually do a recall and they can go through all sorts of old databases from 10, 15 years ago and start sifting to find that information. To see who did watch a certain video or...
Well, I can't see it going that far, but I would say I am almost certain though that they archive everything, even stuff that's been deleted.
Even if they can't currently use it, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I am.
Yeah.
I am almost positive they have so many servers. Like they probably are archiving all kinds of stuff, unless it was just nothing and it's obviously if something like if there's criminal activity or something uploaded on YouTube or stuff like that, I can't see them saving that. But if there was a popular video that they later were like, ooh, this isn't actually that good, and then they deleted it, I'm sure that they probably still have it on a server. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I can't imagine YouTube would actually get rid of it, but I don't know.
It's hard to say for sure, as you said.
Yeah,
All that shit's a mystery, man.
yeah, it's weird to see
And-
where things are going.
And to be a little bit meta, I think a topic like this would have been harder for us to work, like to jump around, like 3-4 months ago.
What do you mean?
So like the whole conversation we just talked about, because I do think it's like a slightly gentle conversation, in terms of just in terms of the contents.
Yeah,
And I think that, like, for example, like this would have been harder for us to articulate well in the past. And so I was trying to make an example of now we're doing it better. You know?
okay, I see what you mean. Yeah, because yeah, I guess we're a little more careful with how we word things. Yeah, I would have probably accidentally said something like, "I miss it. I miss the good old days."
Well, you're saying it now.
I'm being ironic, Austin.
Oh, okay. Yeah, good.
Well, no. There's some okay. Now we're being. No, I'm just kidding. I do miss some videos. I do definitely think there are times where there was stuff that I still don't particularly find bad that still is to YouTube. So I guess that is true to some regard.
Yeah, you can't blame.
I'm not justifying every bad action done on the past that was acceptable. There's certainly some stuff that I look back, I'm like, I still am like, big deal. It was just comedy. I don't know.
Yeah, to be fair, I think it is a little bit.
I think Filthy Frank stuff, I really liked him. a lot of his stuff was a little edgy, pushed the boundary a bit. And but I honestly still would say, at the end of the day, he was kind of being ironic about it. It was, I don't know. It's like, yeah, it was just comedy. He wasn't actually expressing real opinions or anything.
Yeah, yeah.
So
No, I will always love Filthy
I
Frank.
take that.
I get it though.
I take the stuff he said with a grain of salt, even if it was kind of like dark,
and
humor.
I don't think Filthy Frank's gonna age.
No,
It's
not
not
at
gonna
all.
hold. It's
Not at
probably
all.
already starting not to hold up.
There's already videos of his being removed.
Oh yeah, well there you go. Oh
Yeah.
yeah, I guess the
Hair-
what was it?
hair cake, human
oh,
cake.
that's so sad.
Those were classic.
You know what? A little thought actually, because I was talking about it earlier. I was talking to a guy in digital advertising,
Yeah.
and during the conversation, he brought up something that I think is not completely unknown, but I think it's interesting. When there's an advertisement when you go on YouTube,
Yeah.
when you go to the homepage, it still isn't decided what ad you will get. Before you're clicking on a video, they actually have no idea yet.
Really?
And then when they click on the video, they take all your information in terms of demography, your age group, what you do, like who you are. Like they know a lot about you. And then when that happens, an algorithm begins where companies will bid against each other and get to the highest bidder for this demographic, because they're like, we really value people that are our age, like let's say 25 to 32,
Yeah.
like young males that run a business or something like that.
Yeah.
And they'll fight in terms of how much they're willing to pay for that ad to play. So if one, let's say Coke, everybody knows Coke.
Yeah.
Let's say they say I will give 0.2 cents for this for like this demographic to see this ad, and then another company comes in and says I will do 0.3, and it'll keep going until it reaches the highest bidder, and then that ad is shown to you.
Right. Okay. Yeah, I kind of know how that works because we actually ran an ad before on YouTube, and it was kind of confusing for me to get it in the works, but it was definitely something like you're basically bidding for a spot for ads based on, and you could even choose demographics to target and stuff too.
Really? Okay, interesting.
Yeah.
So yeah, you got a little bit of that.
Yeah, so even just trying to run one of our own ads, that's kind of how it went.
And if we lost a bid, then our ad wouldn't play.
Yeah.
And that money wouldn't be spent until we've won another bid, sort of thing.
Yeah, exactly. Which is funny because our analytics, I would say 90% of our listeners are women.
Pretty awesome.
We always
Not
get-
bad. We got to start targeting that demographic
we
even harder.
always got makeup ads and stuff on our videos. Tampons.
That would be great.
Yeah.
You know,
Can you imagine 90% of the people listening to this?
You know, our watch time has actually been pretty rock steady.
It's consistent. I haven't noticed much. It's pretty stagnant, but I at least notice it's consistent. So
I like consistency.
something there.
I enjoy that. I am a big fan of it. And for me,
it's better than it going down. At least it's consistent.
exactly. At least we're not dead in the water.
Yeah.
That's what counts, right?
Yeah.
And you are right. Actually, we have a decent female demographic. So.
Yeah, it's definitely not 90%.
It's actually a pretty decent portion. So we're
Is
gonna
it?
have to
Is it
really
more?
We're gonna have to really pile drive it. Like more than 90%.
No. I mean,
I was gonna say probably not.
Is it more than 50? Like, is it more women actually watch this?
No, it's probably about a split.
Yeah,
it's about a split.
I think so.
Yeah.
I can't see why that would be the case.
Yeah, so we really got to slam dunk that demographic pretty hard. So next time we run ads, we're gonna hit the young female demographic.
Yeah, exactly. That's
like anywhere between 20 and 30 sort of thing.
Yeah, yeah. So onto a nice topic that I think women would enjoy. I was reading about ski jumping.
Jamie? What a flawless transition. So anyway, this is where we get to the female dominant part of the show.
Yeah, ski jumping. No, I don't know why I was reading about ski jumping. I don't really know what. It's just an article I came across, stuff I was reading about it, and then I got into just Wikipedia stuff, reading it. So I was just interested in the history because I was like, if you really think about that as a sport, I feel like it's kind of silly because obviously it takes talent and it's impressive, but realistically, whatever size hill you're going down and your weight, that kind of dictates the jump. So I guess the impressive factor is if they can land it, but if you have a contest where everyone is landing it, I don't see how there's much variation. And apparently they actually I read this in North America's ski jumping, they take into consideration velocity and the wind. They measure the wind and everything. And I'm like, there's just a lot of weird, complicated math involved with it. And I'm like, at that point, like, how reliable is this sport? Like, it just seems pretty unpractical.
Now, I will confess that I've never watched ski jumping.
Yeah.
However, they do flips and stuff though, right?
Well, so yeah,
It's not just about landing. Like it's about doing like front flips.
Well, okay, so I guess there's two types. There's one that's like a style point, I guess. There is some that are about like tricks and stuff, but then there's some that are purely just going for high jumps, and it's purely based on if you can do a high jump and land, which to me
which is a reasonable metric, right? Like if you get the highest jump.
it is, but when everyone's landing it, it really at that point is like just how big's the hill, because that's like ultimately what it's going to be every time.
It's not exactly exciting, if that's for sure. Because I imagine at that point they're all very skilled like skiers.
Yeah, which I'm not saying it's not impressive. It's really cool, but
Well, yeah, what I'm saying is though there must only be like a 10% variance. You'd think, right? Like if somebody gets X amount of meters, that the other person's going to be like plus or minus like 5 of that or something.
yeah,
you know.
But again, what is that? That seems like it's strictly based on your body weight going down the hill too to build speed. I guess form, maybe like being aerodynamic. I don't know.
True, but now keep in mind though, body weight and genetics and all that stuff is in every sport. It's inevitable.
True. So for example, I guess the North American version of ski jumping, that's the one where the high jump is popular, and I guess in Europe they kind of have the same thought. They're like, we're more into like the style points and stuff, because that's kind of what the European version says is, well, the high jump is kind of I don't know, it's basically just however big the hill is.
Traditional iconic. It's like a traditional sort of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't get it because that to me just seems like it'd be like skateboarding, and the whole challenge is how high can you jump and how far can you go,
Yeah.
compared to obviously being on ramps and doing tricks, which to me is vastly more interesting.
Yeah,
than
yeah. I don't
just
know.
height.
Yeah. Either way, I don't know. I just read that. I just thought it was interesting because I'm like, that is true, because realistically, that sport is
Now,
just...
can you explain to me why women are really interested in that topic?
I don't
I'm
know.
curious.
It was kind of a joke.
You know, Jamie, it seems a little presumptive of you.
Yeah. I don't know, man. Every time I feel like girls are always talking about ski jumping this, ski jumping that.
Everywhere I go,
Yeah.
I talk to a nice lady, and she just starts talking about all that European ski jumping.
Yeah, that's all they talk about.
And I'm like, ma'am, calm down.
Yeah.
That's enough of that.
Yeah. I remember Ski Jump Barbie was a big seller back in the day.
Ski jump Barbie.
Yeah.
Yeah. They try to do like games about horses and all that stuff, and they didn't. They never did good, and not until they got into the ski jumping.
Yeah. Horse girls.
Horse girls.
You know them. You've met some horse girls. The ones who were obsessed with horses growing up.
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Now I think most of them grow out of it though, right? I mean, they have to because they don't have horses.
Well,
so they just got to accept
but-
the fact that they're not going to have a horse. Then some people actually have money.
Yeah,
and
some
have
people
a farm.
do, but that's what I mean. Some people do have horses. So
Is it bad that I assume that
no
if
one
you're
has a horse.
No, if you're a horse girl and you have a horse, I just assume your family's wealthy,
well, of course, and
right? Is that seems like a pretty safe bet?
that is, horses are expensive.
Yeah.
You have to have a lot of land.
You have to have lots of property, a
Yeah.
ranch, a way to maintain them and take
Yeah.
care of them.
Yeah, being a horse girl is nice when you got money. Being a horse girl when
Exactly.
when you're poor is really sad.
Yeah, so image all these
Dreaming
young
of having
girls,
a horse one day.
these little girls like like these ghetto schools, maybe like Divine Street, going,
Yeah.
I want to have a horse one day.
Oh no. Hey, there's probably at least a couple people who went to Divine who had farms and had horses. That's definitely a thing.
I mean, at some point, that's probably true.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a pretty shitty school, though. I wouldn't exactly like. It's plausible. I'll give you that. I'll give you that.
Any Sarnia listener who went there is probably like, wow.
Wow,
What an
you think
asshole.
we're all trashy?
Yeah.
Fuck y'all.
But yeah, it would be very disappointing.
Keeping in mind that I did go there for about 2 years.
Yeah. It'd be very disappointing if you always dreamed of having a horse. But then, you know what? That person knows from an early age what their goals are, At least they have it all laid out.
And
They're like,
their goal would have been to be born into a wealthier family.
well, no, but down the road, if they keep this horse girl lifestyle up, then down the road they're gonna achieve. Their goal is gonna be, I am going to own a horse one day, And it gives them goals from an early age.
That's fair.
Gives them a
What
purpose.
happens if you don't meet that goal, though? Isn't that just kind of devastating?
Well, it's sad. Yeah.
Man, so why? Okay, guys, I have a thought. So you can either be a horse girl or you can be a hopscotch girl,
Ooh.
and that's basically free.
Yeah. I was
and you get a fulfillment out of that.
I was a hopscotch girl, that's for sure.
You know what's so weird is I don't even really remember the rules of hopscotch anymore. Do you know?
Yeah, wait a minute. What was the rock for?
Like you just threw a rock and you just jump into
Was
these
it- was it-
squares. I don't know why.
Yeah, because to me, I always just did the full thing. If I ever saw a hopscotch drawn on the ground, I would just do the whole thing. I don't think I ever actually played the game.
Yeah, and you're right. There was a rock. I don't know what it did or what its
did the
purpose
rock
was.
do?
I
Is
have
it like
no idea.
is it like you go to whatever number, you have to jump the number that it landed on or something? I don't know.
I wish I knew, man. I really don't.
All I know is it seems like a pretty shitty game as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, no, definitely low quality games. You got to keep in mind that we were right on the cusp of the internet, so like all the really cool stuff wasn't out yet.
Yeah.
Do you remember Foursquare?
Yeah.
Like, remember the one where you had to like
Wait a minute.
you like bounced a ball into someone's court and then you would
Dude, I don't know.
progress up. Remember, like, and you could become the number one person in the Foursquare.
I actually don't know how that game works either.
I don't
I remember playing it, but I couldn't tell you how to play it now.
Yeah, I know. I can't remember either. All I know is if you lost somehow, you had to go back to like fourth place in the square.
Okay, so
remember
there
that?
was ranked squares.
Yeah, exactly. And then you would like move up the ladder.
How many squares were in Foursquare?
4.
Oh.
Jamie, you're a real hard hitter. Have you considered journalism?
I always thought there might be, I don't know, like 5.
How contrarian of you, Jamie?
Little do people know about the secret 5th square of Foursquare. You know, those like ridiculous like conspiracy stuff where it's like, could you imagine someone makes a whole video? They're like, the secret 5th square of Foursquare. Like, have you ever read a title of a video that actually seems so absurd? You're like, what the hell? Like, what could you possibly say in this?
Yeah, not really.
I wish I could give an example, but I've totally
Maybe back in the day.
I've totally seen stuff with names that absurd. Like,
because nowadays the algorithm is so tuned in. Like
Yeah.
whenever I'm watching videos, that it's only just giving me pretty much what I want.
you don't get any 5 square
Yeah,
videos.
I don't get any like weird conspiracy theory videos or anything.
That's fair.
Or anything.
I guess it's like only if you watch dumb stuff like that.
Exactly. Now, if I was just like some idiot that watched dumb shit all the
To
time.
be fair, that sounds like a Vsauce video, like the secret 5th square of Foursquare.
Well, I'm sure Vsauce would actually at least make it interesting.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Are you good at hula hooping?
I was actually pretty good at hula hooping.
Yeah.
I never had any problems doing the hula. Actually, you know what? I was able to do the double hula hoop. I remember that.
Really?
Yes. It was
You got hips, boy.
It's a rhythm thing, right? You just
Yeah.
got to make sure you just don't break the rhythm between the two hoops, and it's pretty good.
I could never do 2 at once, but I could do 1 for a while. I don't know if I even could now. I actually think I used one 3 years ago, or maybe 3 or 4 years ago. Well, I went to like a loft party downtown. I used to have a friend who like owned just this really big loft, and she used to have like parties and stuff up there and have bands and stuff up there. It was really, really cool. But she had hula hoops just in the loft. And I remember like trying to use it, and that was probably the last time I used one. And I don't think I could do it anymore. Like I could do it for a bit, but I couldn't just keep it up forever.
You've done it way more recently than I have.
Yeah.
I can't even recall the last time I even saw a hula hoop.
Yeah.
Now, do you remember the cool thing you could do with a hula hoop? Remember, you could like flick it,
Yeah.
and
it
would
comes
come
back to you. I can do that.
That was the best part of the hula hoops. Let's
Yeah.
be real.
I felt pretty badass anytime I did that. Yeah.
I haven't thought about those things in a while, actually.
No, me neither. And actually, I was pretty good at pogoing too. You had a pogo stick, I remember when I was younger.
Yep.
When we were younger, but I still own one somewhere. It's been forever since I used it, but I actually got pretty good to the point where I could like grasp it with my legs and actually jump on the pogo stick with no hands.
We did it recently.
Yeah. Oh,
we
yeah.
did it like a couple months ago.
Is that
Do
true?
you remember that?
Yeah. Oh,
yeah,
yes.
We pulled it out for fun.
That
Maybe
is
like
true.
maybe last summer.
Actually, no. I think it was
was
like
it winter?
October. I think
Yeah.
it was,
It was fall. Maybe when we went to go get pumpkins.
we went and got pumpkins. Yeah. We were
I remember that.
just having a grand old
I
time.
was still able to pogo stick. I was really happy about that.
Yeah, I'm still really good at
Still
it.
got it.
Still got it.
Oh.
I can do it with no hands though. Like I just grasp it firmly with my legs, and I can jump with no hands.
Yeah, you were doing no hands back in October.
Yeah.
So you're still legit, Jamie. You got it.
Yeah, and it had been years probably before that last time.
Jamie, what was the name? when you had two skip ropes. What did you call that? Double
Dutch.
double Dutch. That's what it was.
Oh, is that when the you'd have like two people?
Oh, that was so awesome. That was peak.
Yeah.
That and actually we got pretty good at that.
Yeah.
At our school. And
Yeah.
actually I got good enough that I could jump into it.
I could too, I think. I don't know if I could now.
We
but
I don't know if I could. Yeah, I don't know if I could do it anymore either. But we just did a lot of skip roping back then. So
yeah.
man, those were awesome too. I would actually say like those are the fun ones compared to like freaking like guys who cares about hopscotch?
Yeah.
Like
Fuck
yeah,
hopscotch.
hopscotch is so fucking dumb.
Yeah.
At least like double Dutch and shit had some cool like
It's a cool game you're playing.
dynamics to it.
It's a cool game you're playing with chalk and a rock. Like idiot. Just
Oh, that's what kids would probably say now. They're like
Yeah.
walk by with their iPhone. They're like, "What the fuck are you doing?"
yeah.
I'm taking a picture of you and posting you on my social media, making fun of you because you're a fucking loser.
Is kids probably still play hopscotch? Probably.
Jamie, that's a strong
You
assumption.
think so? Really?
I mean, I'm not going to say whether it's one way or the other, but
I don't know.
I wouldn't hold my breath.
I don't know. Let's go to a schoolyard right now and just look at the.
Find all the kids throwing rocks and playing
No,
hopscotch.
no, like right this second. Just look at the cement and see if there's hopscotch drawn anywhere on it.
That's fair. We'll see if it's actually built into our evolution or not.
Yeah, I think it's just kids just draw it without even knowing what it is. I think it's an instinct.
Like an animal finding food.
It's a human instinct to just start drawing hopscotch squares. Yeah. Hot take.
Well, Jamie, we're
Yeah.
out of time.
All right,
We made it.
we made it.
Guys, real neighbors.
Real neighbors.
And guess what? We
signing
were happy
off.
to be here. That
Yeah.
was the plot twist all along.
Plot twist all along. I had a great time.
Because guess what, guys? When you don't want to do something, sometimes it works out for the best. Isn't
Yeah.
that nice?
Yeah. All right. Thanks for listening, everybody.
Bye-bye.